Hello, it's Philip Taylor from Richmond Green Chambers speaking. I'm looking at a book from the Law Society, and this is a YouTube review. This is the book here. It's called Solicitors and the Accounts Rules, a compliance handbook by Peter Camp. It's in its second edition, and it's a legal handbook from the Law Society. There's the title page. You've got the usual stuff that the Law Society have. You have cases and statutes at the front. Then some very useful chapters on the substantive law issues. Then towards the end you've got some appendices which have a lot of detail, and then you've got right at the back codes of conduct of various things, and then right at the back the index. It's a fairly light book. It's about just over 300 pages long. There's my Flickr review there. This book will appear as a review in many internet work sites and reviews, and also it'll be available in a number of publications. What my wife and I have written this book have said is the following. We've called this Compliance and Clients' Money because that's what it's about. We say that this is up-to-date guidance for the solicitor following amendments to the Solicitors Accounts Rules and other changes since 2007. It's a book for solicitors, and it's very important for their practice. It's not really relevant for barristers yet, although things may well change in the next year or so with further changes following the Legal Services Act. Anyway, look, what are we talking about with this book? We're saying that when staying up to date is vital to your practice, this indispensable handbook helps you do just that. It reflects the recent changes pertaining to accounts rules as at August 2009 that have come into force since the publication of the previous edition, which was in 2006. And there's a fairly long list of these changes, particularly amendments to the Solicitors Accounts Rules from 1998 onwards, which accumulated in significant changes which were implemented on the 31st of March of this year, 2009. That followed the partial implementation of the Legal Services Act of 2007, which of course is sort of coming in. And there are going to be changes to the Code of Conduct over a period of time as the professions review what's happening. So by June 2007, the general conduct obligations were codified in the Solicitors Code of Conduct 2007, and there are a number of publications by Peter Camp and others within the Law Society stable on that, if that's what you're interested in looking for. Usefully, in case you're not terribly confident of prior knowledge in this area, the book's first chapter offers you an overview of the contents of the Solicitors Accounts Rules 1998, so you don't necessarily have to look up other sources, or if you feel comfortable with your expertise you can skip this chapter and read the chapters following, which give you the necessary detail on what and what is not permissible in the handling and retention of clients' money. Now, this book, like many of Peter Camp's, is both straightforward and accessible, and we say it illustrates the practical examples, some of the complexities you will typically encounter within this area of your practice are highlighting, and of course that is something that will be of great help. In particular, have a look at chapter 13. You'll probably remember that as chapter 13. It offers practical guidance on the application of the rules in specific circumstances, and it's worth noting there's a chapter now on money laundering to update the regulations which have come into force, and they're now in force for nearly 2 years. So with key texts and legislation included in the appendices, which are just at the back, there's not that much information, but there's enough for you to get on with. You've got the cases and the statutes listed, and you've got Law Society rules and codes plus statutory instruments, so there's a wealth of detail, and it's invaluable in our view as a work of reference, particularly if you're a solicitor who is involved with the day-to-day handling of client monies and solicitor accounts. Let me end by saying that the work has, as I say, 14 chapters. It's 300 pages long with 2 detailed and important appendices at the end. And readers will find sister works from the Law Society available, of course, to cover areas such as recent areas of money laundering and issues concerning solicitors and their accounts, reflected by changes in the codes of conduct, which of course will and must remain a priority for your practice. So we think the advice given by Peter Camp here remains impeccable. So thank you very much indeed for it. Bye bye.